up, everybody? Coach Matt here, Exton Fit Body Bootcamp. This is the first video that I'm going to be uploading to the new YouTube channel. What we're going to talk about on this channel is a lot of nutrition. We're going to talk about some form on specific exercises that we're going to be doing here in bootcamp. And we're also going to just go over regular old tips that are going to help you maximize your fitness efforts, okay? So the first thing that we're going to go over today is the kettlebell, okay? Now we're going to start some kettlebell swings here in the next couple days, so I want to start going over how to do these properly so we avoid injury and maximize results, okay? So the first thing I want to go over with you guys is just the understanding of what actually we're trying to get accomplished with the kettlebell swing and what I don't want you guys to do with the kettlebell swing, okay? So the very first thing with the kettlebell, and the most common misconception with the kettlebell swing, is that it is a leg and an arm exercise. So a lot of times people go very slowly because they're focused on and worried about hurting their back, right? So they turn it into a squat and a front raise with the shoulders, okay? So when you do a squat and a front raise, that becomes a very vertical transference of energy. And what we need to do with the kettlebell swing is really practice getting that transference of energy to be horizontal and more of a pendulum swing with the kettlebell, okay? So we don't want to squat and we don't want to raise our arms and use our shoulders to pull the kettlebell up, okay? We want to use our hips, our glutes, our hamstrings, and we want to engage that slingshot mechanism, all right, with the hips, okay? So the very first concept, the very first thing that we're going to go over is how to hinge the hips, okay? So what we do is we're going to get maybe about a foot to a half, maybe 2 feet behind the kettlebell, and the very first movement that we're going to do is the hip hinge, okay? So we're going to take our hands and you're going to drive them right into the crease of our hips. And what's going to happen is you're going to see your glutes kind of sticking out the back, and immediately what you recognize is that there's a lot of tension now in the hamstrings and the glutes, right? Your chest is getting down, right, towards the kettlebell. Our back is always flat, right? But again, what we don't want to do is squat to the kettlebell. We want to hinge on the hips. We want to load our hamstrings, load our glutes, and we want to keep our back flat, all right? Now we're at the position where we're ready to grab for the kettlebell, all right? Now what we want to do is reach out, grab the kettlebell, grab the horns. We want to pull the kettlebell back towards us. We want to engage our lats. Okay, so again, I'm going to reach, my lats are elongated and stretched. I'm going to reach for the kettlebell, roll the kettlebell back halfway, engage the lats. All right, now all I have to do is slightly lift the kettlebell off the ground, and it's going to automatically want to swing back on its own. All right, so that next step is the hike. So what we're going to do is practice that movement, right? Practice getting the momentum of that kettlebell going, right? And just start that swing, okay? Now the next step, after you kind of practice that first initial swinging back, that hike of the kettlebell, is going to be the explosion up, all right? So we're going to start that momentum with our hips, all right? Now what you're going to do, from this hip hinge position, from that hike position, you're going to explode your hips forward to a locked glute, locked hamstrings, locked quads, tight core, all right? And that momentum of that firing forward is going to create a big pendulum effect with the kettlebell, and it's going to swing the kettlebell up to our chin. All right, so it's a quick, explosive movement, and everything's tight. Now when you get to the top of the swing, you're going to notice that my arms right here, my shoulders and my back are in a complete 90-degree angle. My back's flat, my lats are down, right? And so I'm not squatting, I'm going through that motion explosively, up and down, okay? Now the very last thing with the kettlebell is the deceleration and the downward portion of the swing, okay? So what we don't want to have happen is get up here and then immediately start bending at the waist and keeping the weight out away from our body. That's a great way to hurt the low back, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to explode up to this 90-degree position, and you're going to let the kettlebell start coming back down on its own, okay? Now when you get maybe a few inches away from hitting yourself, what you're going to do is move the hips out of the way, right? And that kettlebell is going to go nicely down between the legs, right? So what we want to make sure we're doing is keeping our kettlebell between this triangle right here, between our knees and our crotch. We never want to let the kettlebell get way down here, okay? So if you get up top and then start to let yourself bend at the waist before the kettlebell comes down, you're going to notice the kettlebell gets way, way down below the knees. We don't want to have that happen. Like I said, we always want to stay within this triangle here and make sure from this position we're coming straight down, and right before we get down to our crotch, we move our hips out of the way and the kettlebell goes back between the legs. We engage the hamstrings, the butt again, and then we just continue that motion, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a few reps here, and then we'll go from there, and I'll see you in boot camp, okay? So we're gonna get about 2 feet away, hinge on the hips, reach down for the horns, engage the lats, lift, hike, explode forward. Hinge the hips, explode forward. And disengage. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple reps forward. Notice that the kettlebell never gets below my knees. And disengage, okay? So I want you guys to think about that. I want you to practice that a little bit without any weights. And then when you come into boot camp, we're gonna go over it. We're gonna maximize your results. All right? Have a good one, guys.